Okay, this video is going to teach you about angles. There are 4 basic ones here and then 3 others that I'm going to talk about in a minute. First, an acute angle is an angle that is less than 90 degrees. It is small or acute. It can be drawn like this. 2 rays joined together make an angle that is less than 90 degrees. Alright, a right angle is exactly 90 degrees. And you could tell an angle is a right angle because this little box that's drawn in the corner, that tells you that that is a right angle. It is 90 degrees. An obtuse angle is very large. It is greater than 90 degrees, but it's less than 180 degrees. So there is my obtuse angle. A straight angle is exactly 180 degrees, or a straight line. So this right here is 180 degrees, or a straight angle. All right, next I want to talk about complementary and supplementary. Complementary are 2 angles that when you add them together, the sum of those angles is 90 degrees. So if I had 2 acute angles, and I'm saying that they are complementary, and I said one of them, by the way, this is the symbol for angle, if you didn't know that already. It's kind of like a less than sign, except the bottom part is horizontal. So if I have angle 1, and I say the measure is written like this with an italicized M. So the measure of angle 1 is 38 degrees, and angle 2 is complementary to angle 1. What is its measure? Well, the way you would figure out, the 2 of them need to add up to 90 degrees. So if you took 90 and you subtracted 38 from it, you would find that the measure of angle 2 is 52 degrees. It's 52 degrees. Supplementary angles are 2 angles whose sum is 180 degrees. So let me take the same angle 1 that I had up here, 38 degrees. And now I'm going to say, what is the measure of angle 4, assuming that angle 1 and angle 4 are supplementary? Well, they need to add up to 180 degrees, so if I subtract 38 from the 180, I would get 142 degrees. So the measure of angle 4 is 142 degrees. Alright, moving on. We have vertical angles. When you have 2 lines that cross each other, here's one line, here's another line, they're crossing each other. Vertical angles are the angles that are opposite of each other, like this. And they have the exact same measurement. So 1 and 2, angle 1 and angle 2 are vertical angles. And then 3 and 4 here are also vertical angles, which means that they have the same measurement. So 3 and 4 are equal, and 1 and 2 are equal. Now the interesting thing too here is if you look at 1 and 4, what kind of angles are those? We just learned about them. You should have said, oh, I know, those are supplementary. Yes, those are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. All right, let's try a problem. And hopefully, I'm going to give the exact same thing I just drew. But instead of writing in numbers here, I'm going to say this is x degrees. This is 5x degrees. And I want you to tell me what is x. Now don't look at that and say, man, I have no idea. Think about it for a minute. Think about the angles that we just talked about. Think about what those 2 angles are and see if you can solve it. Pause the video and try it. If not, just keep playing, but I want you to try it. Okay, hopefully you tried it and you got the answer. If you look at these 2 angles, the 5x degrees and the x degrees, those are supplementary, which means they add up to 180 degrees. So if I took 5x plus x, I know that it would have to equal 180 degrees. This straight line right here, or this straight angle. So 5x plus 6x, remember this is the same as having a 1 there, is 6x. Did I say plus 6x? 5x plus 1x is equal to 6x. This is equal to 180 degrees. Now I have a one-step equation to solve. So I divide by 6 on both sides. And x is equal to 30. So this is a 30-degree angle. This one is 5 times 30, or a 150-degree angle. Then the angle on top is vertical with the angle on the bottom. So this is 150 degrees. The angle on the left and the angle on the right are vertical. So this is 30 degrees. Pretty cool, huh? The last thing I want to show you guys is how to draw and measure angles. This is something that you should know, but a lot of students get confused, primarily because there's two different scales on there. So let's say I wanted you to draw a 30-degree angle. What you would do is you'd start with a ray. So I'm going to go like this and draw a ray. And I'm going to put a dot at the end of that ray. That's the end point. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your protractor and you're going to line up this point right here where the crosshairs is. You're going to put that on the end point of your ray. And notice that my ray lines up with the bottom of the protractor here. Okay, that's what you want. And then when you're counting, you're always starting at 0. So what I would do is start here, and I already forgot what I said, a 35-degree angle, I think. I would count up 10, 20, 30. There's 35, and I'd make a little mark. I'd move my protractor out of the way, and I would connect the dots, and there's a 35-degree angle. Now, for the other scale, is if I drew the exact same ray, or same angle, but this time I'm starting with a ray that's pointing to the left. Now I would take this, the protractor, I'd line it up the same way. Oh, I can't line it up, I went too far. Hold on. Let me do it like this. Okay, there's my ray that I'm starting with. And I'm going to line up that spot in the crosshairs again. Now I'm going to the left, so this time I'm going to use the outside scale because I always start counting with 0. And then I go up 10, 20, 35. I make a mark. I'll move my protractor out of the way. Connect my dots. Like that. And there's a 35-degree angle. Now you would use the straight edge, but I can't with this. Now let's say I have another angle and I want to measure it. Here is one ray. Here is another ray. What kind of angle is this? Hopefully you're going to say obtuse, because then you'd be correct. Oops. I'm going to line up that spot where the crosshairs are on the vertex of my angle. Okay, and then I'm going to count using the inside scale because I always start at 0. I'm going to go all the way up to here, 120. It looks like 130 degrees. Wow, I got lucky. I did one right on. So this angle, if I call this angle 1, then the measure of angle 1 is 130 degrees. That's all. Have a great evening, everybody. Bye-bye now.